The 1.366 mile egg-shaped oval that is affectionately referred to or hatingly referred to at times, called the track Too Tough to Tame, is the next location on our schedule. Darlington, South Carolina, for the running of the Dodge Challenger 500. It's the first of two stops we will have on this egg-shaped racetrack. So we'll see what happens here today. We've had 4 runners in the first 4 runners of the season, and let's hope for see if we can make it 5 for 5 today. And here's the starting line for the event. On the pole, Joshua Collard, number 43, has the pole at 174 miles an hour. He'll be alongside Chris Dollarton in car number 60. Next row down, we'll have car number 3, Cole Deaver, the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. He has one of our in-car cameras today. He'll be flanked by Charles Sanford, number 42. Third row, we'll have Johnny Gardner in car number 25, and number 28 is Kat Batson. The next row down, we'll have row number 4. We'll have car number 88, Keith Batson, who has her second in-car camera in today's event. He'll be alongside the winner in Atlanta this season, Jessica Shelton, in number 94 to McDonald's Ford. Fifth row down, we'll have fifth row down, we'll have car number 31, Nathan Hudson, and our third in-car camera, Dylan Young, in number 2. Next row down has number 99, Joshua Osborne, and alongside him, Dylan Poteet in 22, both of them from Kentucky, and both driving Burton cars too. Next row down has car number 36, Kev Shearer, and number 5, Phil Parker. Then it's number 11, Emmanuel Hartnett, and beside him will be car number 9, Sky Commons. Next row down, the man who won it at Rockingham this season, number 18, that is Matt Haas. He'll be alongside Jesse Turner in 75. Then it's number 45, Seth Cole, and he'll be alongside Kyle Matthews in 24, who won the season at Richmond. Next row down has number 4, William Brock, and number 44, that is Mike Becker. The next row down after that will be car number 30, Shane Lake, and beside him will be car number 12, Rob Evans, who won the Daytona 500 this season. Next row down has car number 90, Quentin Moore, and number 33, James Henry. Then it's number 55, Henry Sanford, and number 26, Ryan Brommer. Next row down, Marcus Sachi, and number 21, and beside him will be car number 6, the Valvoline Ford of Jordan Lopez. Then it's number 10, Mitchell Collins, and number 77, Paul Minnick alongside. Then it's number 40, Nathan Ormond, and he'll be alongside car number 97, that is Zach Winkle. Then it's 66 of Zachary Fitzwater, and number 20, Brandon Parker. And after that will be car 16, Julius Anderson, and number 71, Alex Miller. Then it's Casey Nanico, number 7, and number 23, Adam Fleckenshire. Starting shotgun field will be Jay Jefferson in car number 1.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Commands been given for our engines as we get set for 56 laps of action on this 1.366 mile racetrack at Darlington, South Carolina. General Motors products sweep the top 5 spots in qualifying here with, I believe, 4 Chevrolets and a Pontiac. The lone Pontiac in the top 5 happens to be the pole sitter, Joshua Collard, who qualified at 174 miles an hour. His car very, very strong here today. Well, as it was in practice and qualifying here. Now, I was going to use the 2005 Darlington version, the nighttime version, but Fraps kept jumping all over the place on that racetrack, so that's why you're going to see the in-game Darlington on this version. I know some people do not like this version because it doesn't provide much racing. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes to get everything running smoothly in this series, and that's why I chose to do this version. Again, our in-car cameras today will be carried by Cole Deaver, Keith Batson, and Dylan Young. This will be a three in-car camera since today's event here. Joshua Collard leads him off turn number 4 with Chris Dalton alongside. You got Jelly-O Britt on the front on the pole, and you got a Texan alongside. So it's kind of an interesting combination. Green flag flies. We're underway here at Darlington. Thinking this version of Darlington, you're going to see a lot of wall bangers coming off turn number 2. It's usually the trouble spot at times. As Collard jumps out to the lead, then Darlington, Deaver, Gardner in 4th position, and Keith Batson right now in 5th. On board Keith Batson's car as he rides in 5th position. First lap completed. First lap tied at 162.404 miles an hour. That's about the pace you may see. You'll be seeing speeds today of just over 175 miles an hour on this racetrack. Lap speed wise, that is. Some parts of this track you'll probably see maybe 185, 190 going into turn number 3. And just say that, Batson 192 miles an hour into turn number 3. And his last lap 178 miles per hour. So he's just rode a lap around what a lap around Darlington looks like. Charles Safer's in 6th position. 7th is Nathan Hudson. Then Joshua Osborne 8th. Jessica Shelton 9th. And 10th is Kev Shearer. Then it's Emmanuel Harden matching his car number at 11th. 12th is Kat Batson. Then Matt Haas, Phil Parker, and Seth Cole right at the top 15 with Dylan Young dropping to 16th position right now from his top 10 starting spot. And there's the view from Dylan Young's in-car camera. Back to the leaders, the top 6 all running together here as Collard, Dollarton, Deaver, Gardner, and Batson the top 5 in this race, and then you got 6th place Charles Sandberg, and then also Nathan Hudson, Osborne, Shelton, and Shear. They have all caught up to him, so the top 10 running right there together. And here comes Dollarton to the inside of Collard as they come off turn number 2, and he's going to take the lead as they come off the second turn, and Collard's going to go backwards now, and Chris Dollarton goes to the number 1 spot. Of course, the next track that we'll be going to on the schedule is his home track at Texas Motor Speedway. That's next on the schedule for the Interstate Batteries 500. And now Keith Batson going backwards to number 88. Osborne gets past, Shelton in 94 gets past, and here comes Kev Shearer to the inside. Everybody's going to pass Batson. He's up on the high side of the track. Collard found himself a hole at least on the inside lane. He dropped the 3rd spot. Batson's going to drop further than that. Riding with Cole Deaver in car number 3, the GM Goodwrench Chevy. Talk about 4 winners in the first 4 races of the season here in season 23 so far. Dollarton and Deaver have not yet won this season, so they look to both these drivers are looking to. So these 2 drivers are among those looking to make it 5 for 5. And Deaver gets moved to the high side. That's Joshua Collard back to the low side. Collard also has not yet won this season. Neither is Johnny Gardner in 25. Deaver has to allow the throttle to keep from hitting the wall of turn number 2. And now Charles Samper looks slow in car number 42, and he's going to get past. So Deaver drops to 5th. And he's going to find the hole back down there. So Deaver finds a hole, and no sooner he does, Osborne's now the one getting shoved up to the high side now in 99. And he almost gets a Darlington stripe off the second turn. Check on Jay Jefferson in car number 1. He started this race in dead last for the moment. He's now up to 36th position, as you see some of the guys behind. Julius Anderson, Zach Winkle, Marcus Sachi in 21. Number 1 of Jefferson, Paul Minnick in the 77. Ryan Brommer and Zachary Fitzwater having a battle here. 66 and 26. This is back in the pack. 31st and 32nd. Mitchell Collins up to 30th in the 10 car. Jordan Lopez in 29th. Henry Sanford 28th. 27th. Nathan Orman 26th. James Henry. Rob Evans, the Daytona 500 champion, 25th right now in the Mobil 1 Ford. Mike Becker in 24th. Kyle Matthews has dropped way back. He's down to 23rd position in 24 car. Matthews winner this season at Richmond. He followed that up with a second at Atlanta. Quentin Moore in 22nd. 21st, Dylan Poteet. Jesse Turner, 20th. 19th is Sky Cummins. Shane Lake in 18th. 17th is Phil Parker. William Brock in 16th. 15th is Emmanuel Hartnett. Good battle going on right there. Joshua Osborne, Seth Cole, and Dylan Young. Young in 14th. Osborne 13th. And Cole running in 12th. Matt Haas running in 11th. Cat Batson right now anchors the top 10 and 10th. Kev Shear up to 9th. 8th is Keith Batson as he's looking to be falling back that far. He could have gone back to about 18th or 28th, whichever, but Jessica Shelton up ahead in 7th. 6th is Nathan Hudson. Cole Deaver dropping the 5th, and there's the top 4. Dallerton leads, then Collard, Gardner, and Charles Sanford. That's how they run right now. Been a quiet race so far. Average speed in the first 15 laps, 175.671 miles per hour. Speaking of 671, that's what Dallerton kind of nicknames himself. Car keeps running like this. You know he'll want to take this car to Texas Motor Speedway and hopefully for him dominate the event and win at his home track. Team tested a little bit over there last for that event. Off in turn number 1, there's Johnny Gardner and Joshua Carr. Remember, those two battled it out for the Southern 500 win last race on the tour. Last time he was at Darlington. Collard apparently had that race won, and then Gardner to the low side got past Collard with about, I think it's when they were coming to the caution flag, I think, and Gardner had just passed him when before the yellow flag flew, and basically gave him the Southern 500 title over Collard. And we talked about how far back Kyle Matthews is. Remember, it was he who brought out the last caution flag when he was at Darlington, the last race on the tour. Collard, actually, meantime, tried to find a way past Dallerton. That was not going to happen, and Dallerton pulls back ahead. Riding with Cole Deaver in car number 3. He runs in 5th. Up ahead is Charles Sanford in 4th. Two of the drivers this season, two of those drivers this season, hot contenders for the championship, usually. Bieber getting a draft off Sanford as they go into turn number 1, 197 miles an hour into turn number 3, I should say. And slows down about 146 in the middle of 3 and 4. Force the throttle, he'll head into turn number 1, 185, 188 miles an hour into turn number 1. And off turn number 2 at 180 miles per hour. So Cole Deaver, you can kind of tell right there with the way this track is there. The one set of corners is shorter than the other. Because as you saw right there, through turns 1 and 2, Deaver ran it almost wide open, almost. You know, you have to lift just a little bit going into turn number 3 though. Going into turn number 1 though, but basically you kind of run it wide open just about through turn 4. But let's just say you run turns 1 and 2 faster than you do turns 3 and 4. Turns 3 and 4 you have to brake hard. You have to brake just a little. You have to brake going into turn number 3. Whereas turn number 1 you kind of have to left. You kind of have to lift just a little bit, and then see the speed on Dalton's car. He has to lift a little bit through turn 2. Or the middle of 1 and 2 before flooring the throttle for the third turn. Now, and you see him braking right there, 196 miles an hour, down to about 150, 146, 145 miles an hour, I should say, for Dollarton. And his last lap speed, 172.101 miles an hour. So, fast lap race so far being set by Kev Shearer at just over 179.711 miles an hour, almost 180 around this track. They qualified at 180 for a cup race some years back, but not for this event. As I said, for this event, the pole speed was only 174 miles per hour. Sixth place battle going on between Nathan Hudson, another Jelly Brit, up against South Carolinian Jessica Shelton. Shelton, you remember, broke her long jinx at Atlanta when she won that event. Dominated the event, but not without a fight from Kyle Matthews in the last 4 or 5 laps from that event. It was kind of deja vu from last season when Matthews, you remember, beat Shelton in the last couple laps at Atlanta, but this time she got revenge on him in an event, but now she tries for, and here she's trying for 2 in a row as she tries to pull off in Darlington. She has won Darlington before, but both those times it was in the Southern 500. And one of those times was in a 1985 Bill Elliott car, believe it or not, that same kind of car that won him the million. But she rides 7th right now. Batson's 8th. 9th is Shearer, and 10th is still Cat Batson. Matt Haas in 11th, and there's Dylan Young at the 12th position now in car number 2. On board Dylan Young's car, number 2, as he come off to number 2, drafting behind Matt Haas in number 18, trying to get back up to the top 10 cars. No caution yet, and we're halfway home now. 28 in the books and 28 to go here at the track. To Tut the Tame, and so far they're taming this track pretty well. I will say as well, as we see Emmanuel Hartnett coming up behind Young. Hartnett running 13th. There's a battle for 14th there between William Brock and Joshua Osborne. Brock in the number 4 car, Osborne in 99. And right behind, Shane Lake in 16th position. Osborne's 15th right now. Dylan Poteet running 17th in car 22. He's never won here, I don't think. And for Poteet, he's not won in a long time in his series. He at one time actually was the all-time win leader, which I think that's now surpassed. But and I'm not sure by who, too. And I had not kept the win list up for a long time. And I don't think I want to now. And we got a car on pit road. That is car 26. And it is car 26, Ryan Brommer, in for an unscheduled pit stop as the crew goes to work on the Cheerios Betty Crocker Ford. And the jack has been let down, and I'm not sure if he's waiting for something on pit road, or if there's a problem with the car or what. And finally comes back off pit road, 55 miles an hour to the speed limit, but he's taking it safe, as you see right there, 55 miles an hour on pit road. Only going 44 down pit road, so apparently he thinks the speed limit is 45 instead of 55, but anyway. Wanted to play it safe than sorry, though, as far as speed limit on pit road is concerned, and even if it means going 10 miles an hour slower than the speed limit. You don't want to get busted on pit road. Meantime, Chris Dalton leads, who now, as they're about to complete the 33rd lap of this race, will have 23 laps to go. Second is still Collard, third is still Gardner, fourth is still Sanford, fifth is still Cole Deaver. There's a battle for sixth still going on. Shelton looked to the low side of Hudson as they come off turn number 2. And they're about to close up on the top 5. That's Hudson, Shelton, Batson, Shearer, and Keith, and Cat Batson. Both the Batsons in this bunch. Keith in 8th and Cat in 9th. Keith in 8th and Cat in 10th, excuse me. Shearer's the one running 9th at the moment. And you got Childress cars about nose to tail here with Deaver and Hudson. And meantime, Matt Haas got moved up the track by Joshua Osborne, so Haas drops to 15th. Osborne up to 14th right now. Actually, make that 13th. Hudson's up. Haas has dropped to 14th position right now. And meantime, Seth Cole moves Quentin Moore up the track. Quentin losing spots like crazy. There's these Sky Comments going by. Mike Becker about to go by. Jesse Turner and Kyle Matthews in this bunch right now. Matthews running 23rd at the moment as they come off turn number 4. As he sticks right behind the 90 car of Quentin Moore, and now Rob. And that proved to be a big mistake because Rob Evans moves low on the track. And whoa, Phil Parker just about sideswiped his Hendrick teammate. And meantime, Nathan Hudson got moved to the track, and Jessica Shelton takes 6th place away. Shelton, who started off with a not-so-good run at the Daytona 500 and at Rockingham, with a not-too-good run at the Daytona 500, but since then has run very consistently well, as she usually seems to. And if she starts off this way, though, that's going to be bad news for everybody else in this series, because she is going for the Drive for 5, the championship, which I don't want to be using that term because it never worked for Jeff Gordon. And meantime, Collard got moved to the track now, and Johnny Gardner goes to 2nd place. Collard up the track. There's Deaver going by. Shelton's about to go by Collard unless they can find a hole between her and Deaver. And Collard did find the hole to the low side and gets past. So Collard drops to 5th position right now. Shelton stays 6th as Keith Batson got moved to the track now. So Shelton up to 6th, Shearer up to 7th, Cat Batson up to 8th, Hudson 9th, and Keith running in 10th. So positions being exchanged here late in the late going, and now does Johnny Gardner have anything for Chris Dollerton? Still a lot of racing left to go. 15 to go to be exact this time by. Charles Sanford is now moved in the 3rd position. He could spoil for both of those drivers as well. 3 Chevrolets. Make that 4 Chevrolets, in the top 4 spots. Pontiac in 5th, and you got Ford's running 6th and 8th, with a Pontiac in 7th, Chevy in 9th, and Ford in 10th. Keith Batson luckily has about over 2 seconds, almost 2.4 to be exact, on Dylan Young. So the margin is this time by Dalton at quarter of a second ahead of Johnny Gardner for the moment. There you see a good look at Dalton's car. Speed slowing down. Dalton down about 138 miles an hour through the middle of 3 and 4. And Gardner's closed the advantage down to 0.2 of a second here as we're now coming up on 12 laps to go this time by, as this will be the completion of lap number 44. Lap traffic just up ahead of Dalton. I don't know if there'll be a factor here in these last few laps. That lap traffic in the form of Adam Flickinger and Brandon Parker. Brandon, by the way, no relation to Phil Parker, by the way. He's no relation to Phil. Coming to start-finish line, 11 laps to go. And it's now down to 0.18 of a second between the 60 and 25 cars. And actually 0.4 of a second actually between the front 3. Deaver up to 4th position, as was said, in the 3 car. Battle for 9th between Nathan Hudson and Keith Batson. 10 laps to go. Eric Darlington, that completes the 46th lap of this event, in this 56th lap running of the event of this race. Batson, meantime, looked low on Hudson, but nothing doing off turn number 2. Batson stays to the back bumper of the 31 car, decides to try it another time. And no dice in the turn number 3. And meantime, the draft of Dylan Young and Joshua Osborne has kind of is trying to work here. Problem is, Dylan Young is about 2.5 seconds back of the front of the 10th place car. Osborne trying to take the spot away from here. Dylan Young running 11th. Osborne running 12th. And you're looking right at the pink front end of Osborne's car. You about read Ford and SKF on it, obviously, too. SKF being one of the sponsors on the, obviously, on the Excite Batteries Ford. About ready to Contigs, too. Plastic Coat, 76, Simpson, Edelbrock, Wicks. Yeah. Point is, Osborne's close to Dylan Young. You can about read about everything on that car, just about. And meantime, Hudson got over the track by Keith Batson. Hudson slows down a bit. And meantime, Johnny Gardner got moved on the track. He's now dropped to the 7th position. And now Charles Sanford takes 2nd place now. So missing some action, obviously, which I apologize, missing some of the action on the up front. And right now, Darlington's got a rather substantial lead right now on Charles Sanford. So unless the traffic does give him trouble, though, unless that were to happen, he's caught up to that 20 car of Brandon Parker just about. So we do have, this time by, 5 laps to go for Darlington. And he hopes that the front 2 cars know that, and hopes that these 2 cars know Darlington's that fast, and Brandon Parker's just now found out how fast Darlington is, and he gets by him. That's the best thing Darlington can have though in a battle for the win, though, is he got lap time just between you and the guys you're racing for the win. Four to go. Gets by Adam Flickinger, so he's got 2 lap cars between he and the front two. Meantime, a position exchange position exchange happening. Brandon Parker's now no longer the dead last racing car as Flickinger's gotten by. Now Cole Deaver's now taking second place over as Sanford got moved to the track as Deaver and Collard got by. Sanford up to 4th position, Shelton up to 5th, and she's got Kev Shearer behind her. .35 seconds the margin between the front 2 cars here, coming now for 2 laps to go. Still the same margin between Darlington and Deaver. Deaver hopes to get by Parker, which he does. And now Deaver has his sights set on Chris Darlington, but I'm not sure if he's got any time, though, because there's a lap and a half left to go. Here comes Collard to the low side of Deaver, and he's going to try to get by him. That should be all she wrote right there for Chris Darlington. White flag in the Dodge Challenger 500. Chris Darlington, who started this race in the 2nd position. And I'm sure now he wants to take this car to the Texas Motor Speedway now. Into turn number 3 they come. Deaver has held off Collard for the moment as they come off turn number 4, but where it all counts up front, Chris Darlington wins the Dodge Challenger 500. So Chris Darlington conquers the track to the tame as he takes his first victory of the season as he wins at Darlington. The Power Team Chevrolet does it here today as those scrappy Texas boys have done here take it all here knew what to do at Darlington and did it showing a lot of muscle too. 1.55 seconds to margin of victory. Cole Deaver holds off Collard for 2nd. Collard 3rd, Sanford 4th, and Shelton right now finished 5th. Then it's Kev Shearer, Cat Batson, Keith Batson, Nathan Hudson, and Johnny Gardner to top 10. Average speed 169.540, the average speed in this race. Excuse me. 5 winners in the first 5 races of the season, and that's been the story of the season here in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. Rest of the finishing order for here: Joshua Osborne got by Dylan Young to finish 11th. Dylan Young comes from 12th. Matt Haas 13th. Emmanuel Hartnett 14th. Dylan Poteet 15th, and Shane Lake, Seth Cole, Sky Commons, Rob Evans, and Kyle Matthews ends up finishing in 20th position in today's event. Then Mike Becker 21st, William Brock, Phil Parker, Jesse Turner, Quentin Moore, Nathan Ormond, Henry Sanford, Jordan Lopez, the top 28. Then Jay Jefferson, not much headway made. 29th was his finishing position in this race. James Henry, Mitchell Collins, Paul Minnick, Zach Winkle, Marcus Sachi, Alex Miller, Julius Anderson, Casey Nanico, and Zachary Fitzwater to top 38. So 38 cars finished on the lead lap. There are 3 cars finished a lap down or more. Brandon Parker, Adam Flickinger, and 3 laps down in dead last Ryan Brommer after making an unscheduled pit stop in the late going of the race. But Starting outside pole here, but after starting outside pole, Chris Darlington dominates the day at Darlington, South Carolina. Darlington dominates Darlington. Darlington dominates Darlington. Darlington dominates Darlington. You have to try saying that fast. But anyway, Darlington dominates Darlington. I like the hit. I imagine that for a headline in the sports page in the news. But that's what he did here today, as the Dodge Challenger 500 is history. We'll be heading to Texas Motor Speedway next in Chris's home state of Texas, believe it or not. And like I said, he'll probably want to bring that car to Texas too, I would imagine. So, if you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on this channel. We got everything. We got in our races. We got gaming videos. Whatever the president of the NNSCRA and 17th place finisher here today, Seth Cole, desires for his channel. And be sure to check out Seth's Duracell Cup Series that's ongoing right now, as well as Michael Nova's Boas All Pro Series, and to subscribe and to keep up on the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. Be sure to subscribe to Thrashman899, aka Levi McIntyre, for that series, and he'll get you going on that. And so that will do it here today at Darlington. And congratulations again to Chris Darlington, the winner here today in the Dodge Challenger 500. And we head to Texas Motor Speedway next for the tour for the Interstate Batteries 500. For now, this is James Clausen in production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. We'll see you at Texas.